Sometimes I think I'm very self-obsessed, and I think this video serves as proof. Here are 50 facts about me. The first fact about myself is that I'm a very short person. When I was a kid, I used to watch America's Next Top Model. I was such a big fan of that show that I wanted to be a contestant and meet Tyra Banks in person one day. As luck would have it, or should I say genetics, I never reached the height requirement. Maybe that was for the best. Fact number 2. Of course, Asians love doing that victory sign. Fact number 2 is that I have really scaly feet. I'll show you in this video clip. It's ichthyosis really translates over to fish scales. But nowadays I wear shorts and skirts and I don't give up. Fact number 3. Another physical abnormality I have is that on my right foot, my bigger toe is shorter than my second toe. I don't think that's quite normal, but I don't really have to deal with it because I don't really like open toe shoes anyhow. One time when I was wearing sandals, I stubbed my foot on a basketball, so it hurts. It's not safe. I have a very short attention span. I really can't stand watching movies nowadays unless I find them fascinating because I think time is short and I'd rather spend it doing something active. That's one reason why I can't watch sports on TV at all. But on a related note, fact number 5. I used to be a high school cheerleader. Believe it or not, this body once wore Spanx one time and used to be a flyer. I was honestly one of the worst cheerleaders ever, but I had a fun time. I had fun doing other sports such as martial arts, badminton, and even golf. My golf career didn't last that long though because our team was no longer co-ed. The funding just wasn't there. Boys team only. Sad face. No golf. I also don't like plastic bags. Not only is it bad for the environment, it clogs up landfills and the whole spiel I could give you later on, but also it's just a sign that I have really poor dexterity, meaning that I can't pick up thin objects like pennies on the ground. Sadness. Despite my poor dexterity, I was able to play video games pretty well, but it was never one of those melee games. Instead, I loved RPGs. I loved RPGs, especially Final Fantasy for its storytelling and graphics. I also embarrassingly had a poor diet of hot Cheetos, Coca-Cola, ramen, and occasionally Mexican food during high school. I really did not know better. And perhaps, maybe I have gastroparesis due to that poor diet. I'm not quite sure. Gastroparesis, in case you don't know, means that the stomach is paralyzed or the muscles don't move as fast as it should. So I have digestion problems. As you could see from my other video, I have problems drinking caffeine, and I can't eat all that spicy food without feeling shitty afterwards too. Sadness, because I really do like spicy food, I just don't think my body can handle it. Another body quirk I am kind of proud about is that I can fall asleep rather easily in any mode of transportation. In fact, sometimes I ride the bus to downtown LA and I fall asleep. Maybe it's not the safest thing, my stuff can get stolen, but that is a fact of life. I do get enough sleep, about 8 hours every day. It's just that when I'm in a car of some sort or even in the plane, I fall asleep. I don't know why. I think I'm just bored out of my mind, and after exhausting myself with thinking too much, I fall asleep. I realize that this is going to be a giant video, so thank you for bearing with me and having the patience to learn more about me. I used to be the Culinary Club president of my high school. In fact, I created it with a few of my friends because we couldn't take cooking classes. Our schedule wouldn't fit it. But honestly, I did not know how to cook before I started the club, so it was a great learning experience, learning that fruit salad did not involve vegetables at all. I really brought a head of lettuce one time, thinking that fruit plus salad means lettuce and oranges and apples and bananas. Yeah, great learning experience, like I said. I think people that know me well know that I don't have a mother. I know that sounds really strange. Of course, someone gave birth to me, but my mother left my family a long time ago, and I wouldn't know her name if it wasn't for my birth certificate. I haven't seen her in about 15 years. That being said, my dad raised me along with his relatives in Eastside San Jose. Yeah, Eastside represent. I honestly used to be very ashamed of that place because it's known to be one of the ghetto parts of the Silicon Valley, but when I look back, I realize how far I've come. So, Eastside represent, be proud of your heritage. As you might realize, I'm wearing makeup today. I've actually only started wearing makeup not too long ago in college. and I'm still learning a lot. In some of my videos, you can see very thick eyebrows or weird eyeliner. I think that's what it's called, eyeliner, right? Yeah. Feel free to laugh, but I'm not going to apologize for learning. On a related note, I wasn't ever allowed to wear makeup or dye my hair during high school, but like any rebellious teen, I went to the drugstore and bought myself hair dye. I was too scared to try out bleach, but I did dye my hair for a bit, hoping my dad would never realize. Of course he did. And on a more extreme end, I got peer pressured into this perm. It was $400 and I don't regret it at all. Okay, maybe it was $300. Yeah, let me say $300 so I don't feel so guilty for my budget. I paid $300 for this hair perm in Koreatown, and honestly, I don't regret it. It was perfect while it lasted. I overall hate shopping. I feel like the quality of clothing has gotten worse over the years. My cousin's hand-me-downs last me longer than what I bought like a week or two ago. I don't like cheap shops and cheap items because I know people are working in sweatshops and not making much money there. They're being exploited, and I hate that. Plus, there's this documentary talking about the environmental impact of all these dyes being pushed over to the rivers of Asia. So go check out that documentary, The True Cost. Educate yourself about responsibly shopping. Please don't consume more than what you need. I love watching Vice and different documentaries because I learn more about things. I know sometimes they have more of a liberal point of view, so it's worth balancing it out with Fox News once in a while or one of the more radical Breitbart things. Just a little bit of both gives you a balance. I failed at calculus, believe it or not. Failing means a D and a C, and not passing the AP exam and taking it twice. I don't know. I'm just bad at math. Maybe I'm trying to subconsciously break the mall minority myth. I have no idea. I used to be really into astrology. My sign is a Libra, meaning that I'm born in October, fall-ish area. However, I'm on the cusp of being a Scorpio, so you can figure out when my birthday is. I got really into it. I even looked at natal charts and everything. I also read tarot cards for fun, even though my religious grandma was very much against that. Speaking of which, if you ever do palm reading, I have something very unusual in my hands. I don't know if you can read this, but I have a very long line over here. It either means that I am more likely autistic or that I'm going to have a long life. It's not a joke, seriously. I read something about that and I really doubt the connection there. When I was in middle school, there was this thing called AIM, or AOL Instant Messenger. My first username was Wicca Girl of CA. Let me say it again. Wicca Girl of CA. In case you don't know, Wiccan is a religion. I thought it was cool because it's so different from Catholicism, and I wanted to piss some people off. That didn't work because people had no idea what I was referencing, and I would have been better off picking Pagan Girl of CA. Speaking of embarrassing screen names, for my MySpace, I was called Cinco de Mayo. Oh my god. Ugh. Horrible decision. First of all, I have nothing to do with that holiday, Cinco de Mayo. Well, actually, I have no relations to May, and I was just trying to play with the slur, chink. I don't think it worked, but it serves to tell a funny story about how I thought back then. When I was little, I used to have two lovebirds. One was called Spanky, after that Arthur character. You know, like that short-lived bird that used to live there. Another one was named Sparky, after a dog that my cousin would later come to own. There were a lot of stuffed animals named Sparky before the actual dog came to realization though. Yeah, if you check on my Instagram, there are pictures of mojitos over there. But honestly, I don't like crazy drinking, and I think people should be responsible. There's too many stories of people puking and breaking doors that I just can't handle. Folks that can't drink responsibly. Keyword, responsibly. Yeah, so no crazy parties for me. Oh yeah, I don't smoke anything. I have friends who choose to smoke whatever in their free time, but it's none of my business, so I shouldn't be judging. But personally, I don't smoke. If that makes me a babushka or a grandma, that's fine with me. I saved up a lot of scholarship money and work money to buy myself a laptop and smartphone during college. In fact, I am recording from my lovely laptop right now. I met my boyfriend at work. Can't tell you where I work, but people who know me know where. I seem to be stuck in long-distance relationships for quite a while because either I'm the one traveling or the guy is traveling, and I think I am almost an expert on long-distance relationships. I tan super easily. Something that surprises and shocks me is how white I look on the screen sometimes. Because in high school, if you look at any of my photos, I am super tan. My favorite author of all time is Hermann Hesse. He's a German author. You gotta look him up. He wrote Siddhartha, Damien, all these coming-of-age stories that is just so soul-touching. And they're not very long either, so go check it out. As for longer reads, I finished War and Peace for one of my classes. It was in English. However, when I was in Russia, I started reading it half in Russian, half in French, because the original that Tolstoy happened to write was in both languages. I still haven't finished. In case you haven't noticed, я говорю по-русски, и я изучала русский язык приблизительно 4 года, по-моему, meaning I speak Russian, English, a little bit of Vietnamese, I understand German and French, but my fluency is not as anywhere close to Europeans, so check me on that. И спасибо большое, если вы говорите по-русски и вы понимаете меня. Очень приятно познакомиться. Давайте говорить по-русски тоже. As a young kid, I used to be really addicted to romantic comedies as a kid. It's given me a perception of love that isn't really realistic, but they're still sweet to digest here and there. It's very formulaic and easy to watch. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I love going to art museums. I don't really understand the contemporary or modern stuff all the time, but there is a lot of talent that goes behind the classical paintings and sculptures that I really appreciate. And with more modern works, it's not necessarily about the work itself or the product, but the idea and processes that come into creating whatever they are doing. So museums are a great place to spend my free time. That being said, my dad is a wonderful painter and guitar player. I am not so gifted with musical instruments as he is. I do play the clarinet, so I think that counts. I think he's a wonderful painter, my dad. Because of it, my dad has fostered a love for art and trying out new art techniques. I in no way claim to be a master of doing what I do, but I think it's fun and recreational. In fact, when I was abroad in Kazakhstan, I used to attend ceramics class. So I have a few of my creations. They are honestly not quality work, but I thought it was really cool trying out new things, especially making pottery. With pottery, things are complicated because I can never get the glaze the right color. Everything goes right until that final step, and then I pull it out of the oven and I realize, wait, I thought this gray color would turn out to be green, and instead you get the complete opposite and you get purple. Actually, that should be red on the color scheme of things, but whatever, the wheel. After taking these pottery classes, I really want to fill my home with raku, or Japanese pottery. I spent maybe 2 hours in Little Tokyo just looking at pots itself. I am honestly just so amazed with the talent it takes to make these things. I like listening to music, but I don't really have a lot of taste in it. In fact, when I'm quoting music, I get the text or the lyrics completely wrong most of the time. So that's kind of embarrassing, especially since I used to have a radio show about Asian Americans, and we often had musical guests. So thankfully, my co-host of that Asian American radio show was in charge of the music list and would often nudge me and remind me about the cool songs and musicians that I should check out. Speaking of musicians that you should check out, you should totally check out Tien. His birthday was not long ago. Also, we met at 3rd Street Promenade where he was playing, and he was one of our first guests. So he is talented and you need to listen to him. I'm a huge fan of visiting Washington, D.C. I would not want to live there, but every time I've been, there's always been cool things to explore. The first time I actually went was in 8th grade, and I met my best friends over there. So good memories, good food, kind of expensive, but free museums, so check those out as well. Especially if you are willing to spend a little bit more, go to the museum. It has a very cool social justice point of view. Gotta love that place. Besides museums in DC, my favorite place is also very free to check out. It includes the obviously, it's the Lincoln Memorial and the reflecting pool nearby it. It's super cool and a great place to jog. I saved the best for last, and this is about my username. Cafty obviously refers to my name. Has refers to the meme Cat Has Burger. But instead of burger, I chose a food that I really liked, which is ramen. Honestly, I like udon a lot more, but I chose ramen because most folks wouldn't know what udon was. But maybe in the future, that'll become a popular thing. Well, anyhow, claps for getting through this or for skipping. I wanted to thank you for watching and have a great day.